In your first bout of the evening, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from the state of Oregon at 220 pounds, this is Chad Manning. And his opponent from Idaho, former Boise State middle nose tackle, little All-American at 293 pounds, Bruiser Brian Cox. Referee, Dan Andrews. Fans, we're just about to begin this particular bout. Welcome to Championship Wrestling USA. This is your host, Dutch Savage, and on board with me tonight we have a special guest color person. Danny Andrews just now rings the bell. Dan Andrews from the National Wrestling Alliance officials. Bruiser Brian Cox jumps on Chad Manning right off the bat, pushes him back in, intimidates him a little bit with that superior strength and weight advantage he has on him. Bruiser is always on the move. You never know what he's going to do. But with me tonight is a special guest. You folks that watched the 95-96 Rose Bowl game, you remember a big, tall, heavy-duty tight end from the University of Oregon Ducks that almost stole the show for him on that Rose Bowl team? Well, Josh Wilcox is with me. Josh, welcome on board.
Thank you very much, Dutch, for having me here. It's an opportunity and for me to showcase my wrestling enthusiasm, and also a chance for me to learn some more about the business.
Well, it's a real rare treat for us. We know that you're going to be going professional here very shortly. Who do you think is going to pick you?
It's hard to say right now. A lot of teams have shown interest, but
who do you have an interest in? Come on,
anybody that pays the bills. You know that. We'll find out here next weekend, or I believe, 19th or 20th of April, and hopefully it'll be a good opportunity for me to showcase my football skills.
Well, I hope so too. Bruiser Brian Cox just caught Chad Manning midair and sets him down, shakes his hand, says, "Nice try, kid, but better luck next time." Bruiser Brian Cox, phenomenally strong young man. Anyway, Josh, it's good to have you on board. I know your dad, Dave Wilcox, was with the 49ers for years. He was an all-pro middle linebacker.
Yeah. Trying to follow in his footsteps, hopefully in the NFL, and try to be as good a man as he was. But the thing about it is, it's all a different ball game.
Brian Cox just released Chad Manning. Said, "Listen, let me shake. I don't want to hurt you too bad, kid." He took him up in a power slam position. He could have thrown him about 3 rows out in the ringside, but he thought better of it. Now he's going to have some fun with the kid. Chad Manning, a rookie here in the business. Bruiser comes in, shows his athletic ability, does a single-leg takedown, which is pretty good for a man of his size. This Josh Wilcox is with me, fans. He's a very humble young man, very meek young man, but when he gets on a football field, something changes. He becomes a tiger. Josh comes in at about 270. He can run like a deer, and we're just glad to have you on board. It's a refreshing change for Championship Wrestling.
Well, it's a great opportunity, and it's a chance for me to come and watch the professional athletes that we have finally, we're in the Northwest and in professional wrestling, which we're trying to get back into Oregon. And for all the wrestling fans out there, we got to do that and get it done.
Sandy Barr went down to Salem here last Thursday about the Bill 908 to abolish boxing and the Wrestling Commission in the state of Oregon. I understand the legislature didn't get finished, and they're scheduling another session. They only got to talk to Sandy for about 3 minutes before the session ended, and they still had more people to listen to, so we'll keep everybody informed on that, Josh. If you want to know anything about that Bill 908, you can call Senator Gary George. Want to know about Bill 908 to abolish the Boxing and Wrestling Commission in the state of Oregon? Call Gary George, 503-986-1702. That's 503-986-1702. And tell him your opinion about what you think about the Bruce Anderson and the way that the Boxing and Wrestling Commission has put a halt to wrestling and boxing in the great state of Oregon. Look at there. Bruiser Brian Cox comes out victorious in this particular bout. Bruiser kind of toyed with Chad Manning for a while. I understand now the rookie was doing really well until he run up against the Bruiser. Not too many people do real well against Bruiser Brian Cox. He's a phenomenal athlete, and he's a force to be reckoned with here on Championship Wrestling USA. Fans, This young man sitting next to me here with the ball cap on, turned around. You may recognize a familiar face. He's been on national television for many years for the Oregon Ducks. This is Josh Wilcox. Say hello to your fans now.
Hello, fans. My biggest fan. I'm a big fan of yourself. I know you're a legend in the Northwest, and it's a pleasure sitting next to you.
Well, the Lord's been very kind. Fans, we're going to be back with more championship wrestling right after this. They're going to be paying the bills for us, so take a good look at them and then come back. We got an interview for you. Don't go away. We'll be right back.